Hello, everybody. You're watching The Political Vigilante. You are making Gotham great again. A great way to support the show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you can submit articles like this from Tim Stack. Submitted this article. Has been supporting the show since day one. AOC thinks concentrated wealth is incompatible with democracy. So did our founders. Right, so when AOC put that thing out there about millionaires making $10 million or more should pay 70% in taxes, you know, people went nuts, especially Sean Hannity and Fox News. Socialism. She's going to put a communist in your kid's lunchbox and whatever. But here's the thing. This article, and thank you, Tim Stack, for pointing this out, talks about how Thomas Jefferson went to the French countryside and found himself scandalized by the condition of the laboring poor. It was all landowners in France and in Europe, which is where they came from. And the poor people were just killing themselves working the land. And he wrote a letter to James Madison. Wrote that extremity of European inequity was not only morally suspect, but economically inefficient. Morally suspect. So one of our founding fathers, you know, when Fox News and everybody else waves those big American flags, and when those idiots in the Democratic Party like Hickenlooper say, we're not socialists, we're capitalists. The founding fathers thought it was wrong. Billionaires didn't exist back then. There's some excerpts from this from the letter he wrote. I know you can't really read this probably, it's pretty, but I'm going to read it for you. I ask myself, what would be the reason that so many should be permitted to beg who are willing to work in a country where there is very considerable proportion of uncultivated lands? Does that sound familiar? Why are there homeless people when there's, like here in Los Angeles, there's homeless people all over the place. San Francisco, homeless people all over the place. There's unfilled houses. There's high-end apartments and condos. They're empty. There are more unfilled apartment units in Los Angeles than there are homeless people. Thomas Jefferson was talking about this back in the late 1700s. There are lands, these lands are kept idle, mostly for the sake of game, meaning for hunting. It should seem then that it must be because of the enormous wealth of the proprietors which places them above attention to the increase of their revenues by permitting these lands to be labored. It's a very lengthy letter, and he writes in this old English but here's some other little quick excerpts I pulled from it. Legislators cannot invent too many devices for subdividing property. They can't invent too many devices for subdividing property. The poor should be given little parcels of land and let them work on it. Our founding fathers said this, Sean Hannity. You smug jackass. To exempt all form taxation below a certain point and to tax the higher portions of property in geometrical progression as they rise. He said it was a moral issue, not to mention it's not economically feasible. Thomas Jefferson said this, right? Now, I understand Thomas Jefferson also was a landowner. He owned slaves. That is the conundrum, the contradiction of the founding fathers. They were slave owners. Thomas Jefferson realized that owning slaves was wrong. He was like, wait, this ain't right. He benefited. They were wealthy landowners, but he realized that was the formation of this country. And again, there was genocide. There was there was taking land from Native Americans. There was owning of slaves. I'm not pretending that didn't happen. That obviously was a big part of it. That was why these guys were very hypocritical. That's the America was born in hypocrisy. But one of the things that did come out of it was like, this ain't right. Thomas Jefferson said he realized it wasn't right to own slaves. He realized this. Now he said we should kick this can down the road and whatever. I'm not going to get into a debate about the morality of Thomas Jefferson, but if you revere these Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States, and you're calling Ocasio-Cortez un-American, you're simply not correct. Thomas Jefferson said the same thing. Right? He said the same thing. He said the same thing. I think that was the thing about the founding fathers is they realized we're talking all these big ideals. Democracy was a fairly new of representative democracy, you know. And they had to look at it. Thomas Jefferson was the one, I think, who looked in the mirror and went, well, this ain't right what we're doing too. But you can't be sitting there screaming about, oh, Ocasio-Cortez wants to come and, you know, Sean Hannity is like, hide the nice things. Ocasio-Cortez is coming. She's going to outlaw planes and making babies or whatever his wingbirdery shit is. But here's some other excerpts. The link is in the show notes below, this article that Tim Stack submitted. Regardless, Ocasio-Cortez's second argument against the existence of billionaires, that concentrated wealth is incompatible with genuine democracy, was something close to conventional wisdom among the founders. They realized it. They were escaping the tyranny and fighting against King George, who was levying all these taxes and telling the colonies they had to pay all this stuff. They came from Europe, where there was royal families. And there was abject poverty. If the right to self-government is an inextricable component of the American dream, then it isn't AOC who regards that dream as immoral. It's Sean Hannity and every other multimillionaire who believes that legislators should not invent many devices for subdividing property. Well said, Thomas Jefferson and Ocasio-Cortez. Thank you for submitting this. Another great way to support the show is go to rokfin.com/Graham Elwood. It is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. And I'll be very honest with you, it is my backup if YouTube deplatforms me. So just, they call it like, just liking my videos, subscribing for $10 a month. I put most of them behind that, but for $10 a month at Rokfin, you get all the premium content of all the content creators. Ron Falcone's on there. So it's basically this mix of progressives and MMA fighters, which I love MMA too, so I don't know. But you're supporting my show and just liking my videos and watching them. I get this cryptocurrency, and so I get residual income. Any viewing you do, any subscribing through my channel, all helps. And like I said, if I get deplatformed for speaking the truth about the war in Iran or whatever bullshit the ruling class is doing, thing about a blockchain platform, Google can't come in and buy it. That's why they created Rokfin. Yeah, baby. So many ways to support the show. Liking and subscribing to these videos, watching the ads on YouTube all the way through. If you're a YouTube Red subscriber, just watching my videos, I get paid. Share the videos out there. Make sure if you've hit the subscribe button numerous times, they're unsubscribing people. I'm getting like hundreds of new subscribers every day, but my number isn't climbing up as fast because YouTube is unsubscribing people. Hit the bell notification button. Every Sunday, 3 p.m., we do a live chat, and I will be doing post-Democratic debate and Republican debate when those happens, if they even have a Republican primary. But I will be doing post-debate wrap-ups as I did this last round. So go to grahamelwood.com. All my tour dates. July 27th, Ron Placone and I are going to be in Vegas. September 5th, we will be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. September 6th, Madison, Wisconsin. September 7th, Minneapolis. And of course, I will be with Jimmy Dore in New York City, August 13th and 14th, and in Chicago, the 13th and 14th of July. Thanks for watching.